Welcome. This is the guided instruction for the Tranquil Awareness Meditation practice. And in this session, I'm going to give some detailed instructions as we go along. So it's going to be a long session, but if you listen to this 2 or 3 times and practice along with it, by the end of that third time, you'll know the practice pretty well and you'll be able to do it on your own without having to listen or watch this video. So here we go. You want to start by taking a comfortable posture. And it doesn't matter if you're sitting on a cushion or a chair or if you're kneeling. The most important thing is that you're in a posture that's comfortable for you so that you don't have to fidget very much or adjust frequently. If you're sitting in a chair, it's best to not lean back on the back of the chair though, so that you don't begin slouching over time. So take a few moments right now to just settle into wherever you're sitting so that you feel your legs being very relaxed. You can feel your buttocks in the seat. You feel the lower half of your torso, your abdomen and your lower back sinking and balancing over your pelvis. You feel your shoulders balanced over your hips too. So you're seated upright, but just maintaining the natural curvature of your spine. Not slouching, but not trying too hard to stay erect. And then with your head, you want to make sure that your head is balanced between your shoulders. And we're not going to look down or anything like that. Just look straight ahead. And right now you're watching the screen. So if the screen is at about head level for you, that's the appropriate posture. So you'll be looking straight ahead. And you'll notice that in this posture, the back of your neck is not straining and the muscles between your shoulder blades after a while will not start to become sore from holding your head in a tilted position. So this is very comfortable. If you'd like, you can close your eyes and also check that you're not grinding your jaw, that your jaw is not clenched. So let it hang loosely. And for now, if you prefer to breathe through your mouth and through your nostrils, that's fine. Breathe in whatever way is comfortable. Take just a couple moments to feel the breathing. And we're not concentrating on any particular part of the body. Just feel the entire breath moving in through your nose and mouth, entering your lungs, and feeling the expansion in the lower half of your torso. So here's the detail, that we're not breathing in a way we might normally breathe when we're going about our daily business. We're not breathing just into the upper chest. We're not pulling with the rib muscles and the neck muscles, breathing in this shallow way. We're going to start breathing in a more and more relaxed way, which will have an effect on our mind directly, actually. And to help us learn how to breathe in this way as we go along, we'll start by take your hands and just place them on the front of your belly, right around where the navel is, right around the belly button. And as you breathe in, see if you can feel your tummy expand outward, just a little bit. And as you exhale, you'll feel it collapse. The way it collapses is even less than the amount it expands on the in-breath. So breathing in, you can feel the pressure in your hands as your stomach expands. And as you exhale, it collapses a little bit. And you might feel that there's a very soothing sensation that comes over you, breathing in this way, feeling the stomach expand. Let's just do this for a few moments. We're retraining our breathing pattern. And then to extend this further, place your hands on your sides around the same level as your navel. But we want to feel that as we breathe in, we might even feel some expansion sideways in our sides. Again, feel that slightly gentle, soothing sensation. And then finally, we're going to move around the back of our body. So slide your hands to the back, just over the kidneys or slightly below where the kidneys are on either side of your lower spine. And even back there, you should be able to feel a little bit of an expansion or movement as you breathe in and out. See if you can feel that now. There's no need to push or force the breath. If you don't feel anything, that's fine. But just see for a few moments. See how soft you can make the lower half of your body as you breathe. You might imagine that with every in-breath and out-breath, you're even massaging the muscles in between and surrounding the vertebrae. So we're helping move the blood around in the lower back, which helps the muscles relax and soften. Okay, and if you want to, you can just place your hands in your lap or put them together below your navel, whatever is most comfortable for you. And then we continue breathing in the way we just learned, letting the abdomen, the sides, and the lower back expand and contract slightly with every in-breath and out-breath. We'll just do this for a few more moments and notice how soothing, how comfortable this feeling is. There are quite enjoyable sensations that arise in your body as you just feel the in-breath and the out-breath breathing this way. As you continue breathing, moving the lower half of the torso, see if you can invite your thighs and your buttocks to relax further. Make sure your shoulders are softening. Feel your face growing softer and more relaxed. And we're moving more and more into a feeling state, just feeling the overall sense of the body and the wonderful relaxing sensations as we continue breathing. You may even feel a sense of uplifting energy in the neck and inside your head. Now this next step might be one that you have not heard before, and this is to include using a smile in the practice. And sometimes when I teach this in groups in a classroom, I'll turn off the lights so that people can really feel the effect of using a smile. There is this interesting effect, so try it now that while we're sitting here and breathing, just put a slight smile on your face. And as you do, see if you can notice a shift in the sensations in your body and inside your head. So definitely keep your eyes closed for this. It'll help you feel the experience. Just a slight smile, even if you're not feeling particularly happy right now. Just make an artificial smile if necessary. And when the smile comes on your face, see if you notice that shift in your mind and in your body. It's very subtle in the beginning. Your face is still relaxed, but there's a slight smile, turning up the corners of the mouth. And for me, there's an uplifting sensation. There's a sense of buoyancy of the mind. It seems lighter, a bit more activated at the same time. I'm more engaged with the feelings in my mind and my body. There's an increase in energy. And it's something that you feel, not something that you know or think about. It's just a feeling, a quality. And so at this point, we're just noticing the feeling of the breath coming in and out through the whole body, and the nice, gentle sensations that are arising as we breathe this way and as we smile this way. This experience of the body and the mind is our object of attention in this practice. As you do this practice more and more, what one notices is that the longer you are able to retain the feeling quality of what's happening in the body and the mind, the deeper, the more profound these sensations become. They become more enjoyable. And it's not a kind of joy that comes from chasing after it or from producing it voluntarily. It just becomes more enjoyable over time, just by paying attention to the natural state of the body as we breathe in this relaxed way and as we smile. It's interesting, the physical smile and its effect on our mental and emotional state. Now, inevitably, especially in the beginning, your attention will be drawn elsewhere. You'll start thinking about something else, something in the future or the past, or some current concern you have or a worry. And the instruction here is, let's just call it being distracted. When you're distracted from the feelings in the body and these sensations in the mind, when you're taken away from that, the first thing you do is, when you notice that, allow that distraction to be just as it is. Don't push away the daydream. Don't judge yourself. Don't punish yourself. Don't try and change anything about what's happening right now. Allow it to remain in the frame of your mind. But by acknowledging it this way, you actually are in a better position to shift your experience from a distracted one to an undistracted one. You might have been taught before to notice when you're distracted and immediately return to the breath, and that is not the instruction that we do with this practice here. The first step is just allow the daydream. So let's say you're thinking about your job, something at your office or your place of work. Let it be there, let it be in your mind. At the same time, scan your body. You might notice that some part of your body has stiffened up, has become tense, has stopped moving perhaps. You might notice that you've gone from breathing into the lower belly area to breathing back in the upper chest. You might notice that you're grinding your teeth. You might notice that the smile has left your face, that you've stopped smiling. And you've disengaged from those wonderful sensations you were feeling into earlier. So before we go back to feeling the breath in the body, and while you're allowing that daydream to remain, find that part of your body that has stopped moving or that has become tense, and spend some time with it. See if you can bring your attention to that part of your body that has the tension and invite it to soften in your own way. You might breathe into it. You might imagine breathing into it. So here you're using the breath a little differently. For example, let's say you feel a hardness in your heart, or it feels very stony. You might put your attention in your heart for a few moments. As you breathe in and out, imagine that you're breathing into the heart area. And just quietly, with your intention, invite it to soften, let go, soften, let go. And just spend as long as you need to with your heart. And only when your heart area has returned to its softened, relaxed state, the one you started with, only then do you come back to feeling the in-breath and the out-breath through the whole body and feeling those enjoyable sensations that happen through breathing in this way. Or let's say you find out that there's just some tension in your mind, Let's say it's in your skull, but also in your non-physical mind, your mental experience. You'll spend moments, perhaps even minutes, just placing your intention in that area for it to soften and release and relax. Even if it takes 5 or 10 minutes, remain with that particular part of your body until it has released the tension. By the time you've released the tension in that part of the body, you may notice that that daydream that you had allowed to remain in your attention, that it has faded on its own. You didn't need to push it away. You didn't need to do anything with it. You didn't need to manipulate it. But just by releasing that part of your body that had become hard or tense, that the related daydream dissolved on its own. And maybe it doesn't dissolve. It could still remain, and that's okay. Let it be there. But if that part of the body that was associated with it has softened, then you can return back to the breathing. Take a deep breath in, and again, feel the expansion in the lower belly, in your sides, and in your lower back. Breathing out. Again, feeling that very soothing, velvety sensation that arises in the body and in the mind. And then place the smile back on your face and notice that increased shift in your attention, the shift in your awareness, the shift in your experience, that it becomes even more enjoyable. So our attention here is being collected in the feelings in the body, the flow of energy and the nice feelings in the mind, and also the application of the smile. So we return that way, having softened everything. Let's just do this for a few moments. Remember that your head is not drooping, you're looking straight ahead, and your eyes can be closed. Just enjoy the soothing, relaxing sensations as you breathe this way. Let your attention rest on those sensations and allow them to build and increase in their own way over time. You may even feel some slightly buzzy sensations in your head or a sense of euphoria, and these come and go. There's nothing to do with them. But just remain feeling your body and your mind. Again, if you become distracted and you stop paying attention to your body, don't rush back to the breath. Spend as long as you need to with that part of your body that's stiffened up, that became tense or stressed out. Be with that part of the body and the mind. Allow it to soften in its own way. Breathe into it. Pay attention to it gently. And only when it has relaxed do you return to the breath. And I'll just explain again why we do it this way. Because let's say you've been trained to recognize when you're distracted and immediately let it go and then come back to the breathing. Maybe you've learned that technique somewhere else. What happens there, I find in my experience, is that there develops a slight kind of paranoia that, oh, I'm distracted, I have to come back. And every time I'm distracted, I have to come back faster and faster. And the thing is, at the end of your session, you might feel like you're concentrated, you might feel like you're on point, but what's happened is that you've increased the level of tension in your mind. You're working so hard to stay with the breath and working so hard to recognize when you're distracted that you rush right back, that this is creating a cycle of increasing tension, that your mind is becoming tighter, you're becoming more paranoid, you're trying so hard to do this practice correctly that it's actually going against yourself. Now in the technique we're doing here, with the instruction to take as long as you need to soften that part of your body or that aspect of your mind, and to spend as long as you need and not to return to the breath until it has fully relaxed. In this case, you're creating let's say a downward cycle of increasing relaxation. because the mind that you bring back to your breathing is a more relaxed mind than it was before, versus the other technique that you become distracted, recognize that, and come right back to the breath. That mind that you bring back to the breath is a more tense mind, is a more paranoid and effortful mind, and that's not what we're trying to cultivate with this particular practice. So hopefully you understand why it's important to take as long as you need to soften your body anytime you become distracted. There's that relationship between your body and your mind, and that's why we do that in this practice. So let's spend a few more moments now just breathing in, feeling your belly expand and contract in a relaxed way. The longer you do this and practice in this way, the more these good feelings will increase on their own, and they'll actually start to fill your whole body. You'll feel the relaxing sensations, the soothing sensations, all the way down in your feet, moving up through your legs, up the back. You'll feel it in your arms and your hands, the back of your head, and even your face. But it takes time to cultivate this experience. But once it's cultivated and you've practiced it, this experience becomes so pleasurable that your attention doesn't want to move away from it. You don't want to get lost in a daydream. That this wonderful feeling is so enticing that it acts like a magnet for your attention, and you don't even have to try to stay with the experience of your body. And your mind becomes more and more collected in a relaxed way. It just stays put. And you drift off to the future and the past much less frequently, and you just want to stay in the present where your body is experiencing these very soothing, wonderful sensations. So let's just do a few more minutes, and then I'll say a few last things. Remember the smile. Now, some degree of thinking or daydreaming, if it's very small, it's okay, it can be there. You don't have to do the whole thing where you search for the tension in the body. There'll always be some mental activity in the background. So this is not about stopping thinking. You don't have to stop your thoughts to do this practice, and that's not the goal. So let that stuff be in the background while you continue smiling and breathing in a relaxed way. It's just when you're completely taken away and you notice you're breathing in your upper chest and your smile has completely disappeared, that's when you would do that side practice of relaxing your body and then eventually returning back to the breathing. But it's okay if thoughts are happening in the background. Don't worry about it at all. And if you ever need to adjust your posture, that's fine. Eventually you'll become so relaxed and so absorbed in this wonderful feeling that you won't want to move either. But that happens naturally over time. If you start to get stiff in the back and it's distracting you too much, of course you have to adjust your posture, so don't worry about that. Let's continue breathing and continue with the smile. Okay, we're going to end this instruction here. When you start to practice this on your own, you'll want to sit for at least a half an hour, ideally over 45 minutes and even into an hour, because something happens with that much time. Meditation is like swimming in a public swimming pool where it's very shallow for a while, and as you get further along, eventually you get to the deep end. And that's like the passage of time with meditation. It remains very shallow, but if you can sit for at least 45 minutes, you'll find yourself exploring new experiences in your mind and in your body, new states of collectedness of the mind, new depths of experience. But you have to learn to put in that much time. But the beautiful thing about this practice is it's so enjoyable. It's based on the natural experience of well-being in the body from breathing in this way. So just after 5 minutes, you should experience these nice sensations if you're doing the practice properly. And so it's not torture with this practice to sit for long periods of time. It should become more and more enjoyable as you go along. Of course, there will always be challenges and big distractions that come along, and each one is a step in the right direction, because the deeper you go with your relaxation, the more things come up from within. And so finding these distractions and these daydreams once in a while is completely normal and is a necessary part of this practice, because every time it comes up, it's an invitation for you to apply the instruction. Find the part of your body that was reacting. Spend quality time with it to soften it, to relax it, to bring it back to a steady state of relaxation, and then come back to the breath. So in this way, our distractions become a wonderful, helpful component of the meditation practice. It's not a failure in any way. In fact, I'd call it a success along the way. So I hope you enjoyed this instruction for the Tranquil Awareness practice. This version was using the breath and the smile as the object. Eventually I'll do a video that uses the sense of loving kindness as the object. But if you get used to this practice, learning the other version will be quite easy for you. So thank you and good luck.